Hi, welcome back to this YouTube playlist of Nomitech CostOS version 8. In this episode, we're going to be talking about compound BIM elements. What do I mean by this? From a 3D model, walls, ceiling, floors, and roofs are actually made up of several different materials, but in the modeling packages, these are actually just defined as one element. And you go into the properties to add and adjust that composite item. So if we're measuring from a 3D, how do we get all of those different materials from that one item? We can use an item called assemblies in CostOS. This is where you can set up an interview form and then it can retrieve specific line items based on that interview form. So I'm going to use this demo project, which I've got here, just to show you that we've got a fictitious location somewhere in London. This is the line item takeoff sheet that we have for the project. It has nothing in. We will be looking at the line items from the BCIS Major Works Cost Library, and you can see it's roughly broken down like that. So we're going to be taking line items from here and then getting it into our particular project. So what is an assembly? Well, I'm going to show you a walls one, and we have an interview form. So we can determine different wall types to try and hopefully aid people who may not know quite what we're looking at. So in this particular item, we can say a brick and block. If we wanted bricks and blocks, they would go in there. We put some insulation and maybe some internal finishes. So we'll go and take off the external walls of this particular building. So that's where we can specify multiple different aspects. So a party wall might have 4 bits of board, 2 sides each. I'm just going to define 2 on the inside as a dot and dab exercise. We have the different kind of boards that could be used, different reasons with bathrooms or a fire stop. So again, we have lots of different brick types and different widths or combinations of bonding. So what are we missing? We're missing the input quantity. So if I click on this, we have different options to use a function, GIS takeoff, or 3D 2D. I've actually got a 3D 2D house here. So if I click on this element, if this was a large house, I might have to get many different items. But if I click on auto select, it gives me this particular family, as it were, and it's only selecting those items which are associated with those 3 walls. So I could, for argument's sake, add that, and then we hide the others, hide other elements. So we have the external structure of the building. You might find that that front bit is actually something else, and you have to do a slightly different assembly interview form to get everything correct. So I'm not going to worry about that here. If I say take off, that gives us 158 square meters for all of those particular walls. If I add to the table, you can see those items are turned up with different values associated with them. So that was the external walls. We'll try it again for the internal walls. If we take our assembly, in this instance we're going to do partitions, not that we need to particularly do that. We'll do a metal stud, no block work, we'll put in some insulation just for good practice, and we're going to do 4 either side without patterns, do dot and dab again. So if we wanted to deduct some area from the top of the wall, say if we had a false ceiling and we didn't want to paint up above them, or there was actually non-fire stopping walls, we would only put them, say, 300 mil above. So that's a manual adjustment you can put in this situation. Once again, we go to our 3D model, and it may be in its old format, so we have to show everything. Show all 3D, and this is where we actually effectively take another wall. So if I take that element, because I can't look inside, we hide selected elements, we go on that one wall, because we don't have all of that family, do the auto select and go down there. And to see if we've got that right, we hide other elements. As you can see, there is actually an error at the top. The decoration around the chimney is not required, so we're going to hide that as well. Otherwise that will upset the takeoff. So hide selected elements, and here we have all of the items, and if we assign takeoff, we have 83 meters. Because of different interview form, we will get more values of the same. So they're being slotted in at the appropriate location. that's all to do with that. So if I load all, we might find there's more in there. There you go. So there's many different items based on the different aspects. If we wanted to actually look at that per assembly, if we click on that button, that's actually breaking them down per assembly, walls. So you might then go and actually start assigning a specific family type. You could do it in here, and that way you would be able to translate from the 3D model in terms of families or just the naming of those composite elements into what is the BCI major work. So that's how the structure flips around. Thanks for listening. If anything was unclear, please let me know in the comments. If you like what you heard, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next episode.